Overwatch Open. It's been a wild ride, and there's no doubt this fun will be just the same. It's going to be none other than the deadly duo that is ZP and Ask Joshy to guide you through our final game of the evening. Enjoy this one, fellas.
Oh, we certainly will, Alex. Thank you so much again for your brilliant, see I used the British word, brilliant hosting job. And we're here at the Adawi International Terminal, where all flights go to Blizzard offices all day long. But it is, you know, hybrid map where they will have to capture a point first and then begin to push that payload. And as the defenses are already set up, we can see Seagull on that Genji. Normal healers with Zen and Lucio. Tanks combo this time are going to be Winston and D.Va for that mobility, and Gods on the McCree, as we would expect.
One thing C9 does really well is they're very good at attacking high ground right away. Kai and Debit, of course, on tanks are great at that. Debit not on the mobile tank, Kai still is, and they actually just work their way into the back. Kind of sneaky coming out from C9. It's going to force LG to adapt and rotate entirely over, so good rotations coming out so far. C9 probably getting the slight edge of it to start things out here. They sort of flipped roles here where now it feels like LG is on the defense and C9 is or LG's on the attack, C9's on the defense. Gods, though, comes in, quick 2 kills. Seagull with the fall through, takes out 2 as well. That's going to be a quick strike here from the side of LG. And despite C9's razzle dazzle, it's just not going to be enough.
That was like a house of cards, just completely collapsing. The loop around was an interesting tactic, but it definitely paid off as they were able to get pick after pick. And Milo is the only loss on the side of LG, so he's going to have to run back. But other than that, everything looked pretty solid for LG on that defense. Cloud9 trying to group up once again. They're going to attempt the high ground this time. Debet, of course, with his shield up to protect the other 4 or 5 folks there, all taking shots out. Interesting pick, actually, Soldier resurfacing as he does from time to time. Reaver has selected him here just because all these high ground ledges allow Soldier to take free shots down at the point.
Well, Seagull was able to feast in the back, did take out Adam early on. Surefour, though, striking right back, takes out both supports of LG. They're going to have to do this without heals if they want to hold this. A big Deadeye from Surefour strikes pay dirt here for C9. Gods is going to take out Surefour, but not before C9 piles on, gets on 2 more kills, and it's just so rough for the team to bring this back when you're down supports. Gods is still alive, but not anymore. Debit finishes off that kill. It's just the D.Va here trying to keep things alive. Enigma will fall, and C9 now in a much better position. And wow, that came down from Surefour, finding both supports in one ultimate.
It did take a full 2 minutes, about half the time allotted to actually take A, but they are happy to get it now and get some time added as they begin to push the payload. It is going to take a few seconds for that thing to wind up, so the defense has a little bit of time to try and set up. We'll see where they end up. Seagull, of course, breaking the railings, as you do. It always feels bad when you flip sides and the other team hasn't broken all the railings yet. It's like so lazy. It feels like it's your responsibility as the defenders.
And the reason why the people don't like the railings, by the way, is they absorb shots. So it just feels bad when it's like, okay, I got this kill. Nope, railing gone away.
I've had Deadeyes hit railings. It's the worst feeling ever.
Well, speaking of dead here, C9 could be heading that way. Enigma opening up this fight with the D.Va ultimate. Doesn't get too much, but does force C9 back. A lot of ultimates up here for LG. Milo going all in. Primal Rage at the ready. C9 going to counter here with the sound barrier, so a lot of fireworks going from both sides here. Here comes Seagull in over the top. Dragon Blade of the Ray going to meet the Earth Shatter instead. You never want that to happen for an Earth Shatter, but Gods, being a bro, does have the backup for Seagull. Gets a double kill on both Grego and Surefour. A lot of ults went off, but it's going to be LG standing on top as the dust settles.
Excellent work there from LG. It's really hard to hold that first corner, and they did so beautifully, not allowing them to even get out of their spawn here. The payload is barely halfway past this gift shop, and Kai's going to hop into his suit. Of course, going to use that defense matrix similar to a Reinhardt, try and keep everybody up and healthy. Surefour does have both orbs on him, Discord and Harmony from either side, but it looks like he's trying to get as much damage as he can in on that high ground. Calls out to Kai and Debet to go ahead and hop up there and deal with those threats, but the payload is continuing to push now, finally being contested by that enemy Reinhardt.
All right, both teams getting into it once more, just treading lightly here on the payload. They both trade out kills. Seagull is dead. So is Surefour. Both teams down engine of their damage to start things out, so could go either way. Dummy, though, is going to get poked out in the end, so they're down a key support. Gods returning fire on the Debit, so 4v4 right now on the point. Both teams fighting tooth and nail. It's a good defense from LG that keeps C9 back. C9 not able to get the crucial picks that they need here just yet. Gods at 14 HP, able to live. Yeah.
Lucio shots just rolling through the window. Could have been fatal there. D.Va ult actually comes out on the side of the defense. It actually went all the way into the building, though, so definitely not going to catch any kills that way. Unfortunately, Reaver is going to pop his Soldier ultimate, that aimbot. D.Va's right in his face with the defensive matrix, not allowing his teammates to die to that. Suit does get popped, so D.Va will fall shortly, but that checkpoint point was reached. Cloud9 rolling through now. That second phase went pretty well for them. One solid stop from Luminosity is not going to hold them up too much. Now entering the last phase, defense has a little bit of time to set up again. Sometimes you'll see some character switches. Enigma specifically switching onto that Zarya now for the defense, but ults all across the board otherwise.
I will note Reaver didn't get a whole lot of direct kills with that Tech Visor, but he was a big distraction, did allow other members of C9 to move in and do what they need to do. It's one of the most distracting ults in the game, both because of what it does and people dodging. But here comes Milo, does it, the Earth Shower, knocks out 3 members of C9. Not going to be enough, though. Kai set the way with the Diva destruction. Went in 3 kills here from C9. Seagull coming in from the back line. Will he be the savior? Sound Barrier, Dragon Blade, and no! Reaver, having none of it, takes him right out.
Seagull got caught on the payload. The dash only went about half the distance that he was expecting, but that is a incredibly fast final stretch there for Cloud9. Luminosity, I'm not sure what happened. They have, 4 members alive, but they were just respawning, and that was a pretty swift time set by Cloud9.
LG started out the map very well in their defense. It was a good point A defense. It started out by a good streets defense, and then once they started losing the fights, they just weren't able to really recover. 5:01 a time to beat here, and LG, they've put themselves into a bit of a corner. It's possible to beat this time on Numbani. We've seen quick times come out on Numbani plenty of times, but anytime you're facing a sub-6-minute time, it's just rough.
That's true. 5 minutes, 1 second is not a time I would have to like to have to beat in competitive, so I'm happy that it's just these pro players having to battle it out instead. But Cloud9, you can see a little bit of their defensive options at least. They may still switch off in the last few seconds, and I say may because Surefour's on May, and it's a pun, sort of. But no, Surefour looks like he will be likely to stay on that. They set such a fast time, and May's Ice Block and Ice Wall can actually stall for 20 seconds or so just by itself with that combination, so... yeah, go ahead. And
May for Icewall actually does have other great parts to it as well here on the defense. There are points that an offense likes to go through, like, for example, the left side where they go through that door. Well, May can close off that door and really isolate, say, a Reinhardt like Milo and kill him right away. So May does have some unique attributes on the Bonnie, which is why she does get used. There was a point where many teams did sort of experiment it for a week or two. C9, though, is still one of the only teams that actually hang with it, and we'll see if Surefour is able to get value on that as we go forward.
Yeah, we actually saw, I believe it was Kai last time on the May playing it on King's Row, and they only stuck with it for the first point. That makes sense because payload, obviously there's a lot more flanking routes and things like that. You can deal with the wall a lot easier, but having Surefour on the May, do you think that's gimping them a little bit? Surefour is such a good DPS player.
It is interesting because you'd think you'd want Surefour to be on the McCree or something all the rest because he is such a big cannon. But a lot of times you look at other teams, like say look at Fnatic, where Cool Matt, still one of the best hit scan players in the game, many indications, still goes on tank because they trust his decision-making and game sense. And I think that's why Surefour is on the May.
Yeah,
but
his right click also is, he's used to projectile characters anyway, so the right click here from May can definitely get some headshots.
Well, we do see the offense LG moving forward. They go straight up the gut. No fanciness to start out with here. They are going to be moving along the right side, so they don't want to engage just yet. They want to go around and get the high ground that way. And Surefour is going to move in and try and cut this off. He has Ice Wall at the ready, so if LG comes right in through the top, he's going to cut them off. And we're going to see if C9 can actually get here in time to capitalize on this when this wall comes out. Because look, they don't even want to challenge the May there.
I don't think they even knew their May was in the game until just now when they actually got over there, because they ran completely away from her. But now the Ice Wall is up. Doesn't quite block the entrance, actually enough for him to get in there and start taking some right clicks on Pooks. Nearly gets the kill before protecting himself with that ice block. God's getting super low, does fall to the Winston player, Debet. Kai getting a kill, Reaver getting a kill, defense standing solid.
Note the respect from LG for that ice wall. They were planning on going up there together. They saw May and said, nope, this is not going to work out. And now the rest of C9, they're able to pick off an LG team that really didn't know what to do after getting caught unawares by that. C9 will have a successful first point defense, and they're burning a lot of valuable time off the clock because, again, Josh, you're looking at Numbani. It's very rare to see a time under 3 minutes and 30 seconds, period.
Yeah.
And that's about where we are now. So for LG to win this game, effectively, they have to win every fight from here on out. If they lose this next fight, the game is already on the line right now.
Yeah, it did take Cloud9 2 full minutes to take A, so they're still at least on pace, but it has to be here. I think Seagull is going to charge in and pull that Dragon Blade out. Can he get the kill? Flashbang immediately does save McCree's life there as he hops down away from Seagull. Surefour on that May did pop his ultimate as well. There is a Blizzard in effect. There's that Diva ult coming out. Looks like it gets 2 kills. Enigma killing Debet, and Grego could be the door opener that they needed for LG to get in here.
Reaver, though, holding it down, does get 2 kills before dying the god. Surefour still alive, though. He's in an ice block with not a whole lot of friends along with him. We'll be able to stall this out for a little bit with the help of Kai here. They're hanging in there. Surefour does go down. Kai going to call his mech back down. Still going to be a pest here on the point. And even though C9 is on the path to losing this point, look at all the time that's bleeding off.
Yeah.
2 minutes, 50 seconds left. They've put themselves in a situation where even if they lose here, one more team wipe should assure them the game unless they really just stop doing everything.
I agree, nice kill there, but will it ultimately matter? Also getting the kill on Reaver, but you're essentially just sending him back with the rest of his team, so you kind of just gave him what he wanted. LG does finally claim the point. It took them a full 35 seconds or so longer than Cloud9, so they are working on a deficit and only have 2.5 minutes. This is actually kind of incredibly bad for them.
It's very bad for them. Like I said, they can't really afford another team wipe here. If they get wiped out, that's probably going to be it. So for LG, the stakes for every fight are extremely high. Good things for them, of course. Milo does have Earth Shatter. Enigma does have Diva self-destruct. So they have a few things going forward here. They do have to watch out for Kai's self-destruct, but other than that, they have a lot of tools to win this next fight. But look at Surefour. He's creeping in the back, looking for Dummy. Dummy now under assault, calls to his team, assist me. But while this is going on, you have Winston leaping in the front. No one was looking at the Winston as he went in, and they are able to take out Milo as a result. Surefour does go down, but it was such a good initiation from C9 that things are going well for them. But here comes Seagull in the back line, Dragon Blade at the ready, trying to turn this back for LG, moves to the back, slicing and dicing, does take out Reaver, goes down to Adam in the end, so it's an okay response to Dragon Blade, but Seagull at least keeping momentum here for LG.
Only 93 seconds left now as they continue to 3-push. That stall was pretty solid. Surefour with the nice flanking tactic did buy them a lot of time, especially combined with that frontline attack. We've got the Deadeye available from Gods on the side of the defense. Adam and Reaver can stall out just with the zoning ult of the Deadeye and the Transcendence keeping everybody alive. So every second is so precious, and as the defense engages once again, Surefour doing the flank maneuver once again, trying to find something. Transcendence goes off for the side of the defense, keeping them alive. There's the Winston ult from Debet, also just disrupting Gods, not allowing him to do his thing and mow through the defenders. 14 health on Gods. He is eventually going to fall there to Debet. Reaver now on the defense. No one to even shoot at. They're so far away from the payload and under a minute to go.
And right now I'm pretty confident in calling this in favor of C9 with only 45 seconds remaining. Even if they won the next fight decisively, C9 would probably be able to win just by stalling on the card. So unfortunately for LG, the time from C9 was so incredibly fast that even as they got through point A in about 2 minutes, it's not enough. 35 seconds remaining. They can do all they want here in the next fight. They can struggle all they want, but it's not going to change the fact that C9 is up 1-0 now.
Not like Numbani, there's no capturing involved, it's just straight up push that thing as far as you can get. Although it feels kind of like Numbani because the beginning is so wide open anyway, they get the first checkpoint without too much action, but it is very surrounded by high ground, similar to Numbani, so you'll see very similar compositions, and Diva, of course, is going to gain a lot of value here on this map.
Now, we're going to see LG come out the same defense that they did against Liquid a little bit earlier today. They will have Seagull here on the Junkrat. I don't know if it's going to be quite as effective. I think Kai on his initiations is a lot better at sort of knocking this stuff around. He will be going right on Seagull in all likelihood, trying to lead the way. Surefour will be the follow-up. Surefour, though, does eat a lot of poke early on, so that's going to be slowed down a little bit. But I do think it's going to be hard for Seagull to stay up here the entire time. We'll see how it goes, but C9 usually better at breaking these sorts of stalemates, especially on Gibraltar.
Yeah, everything looking solid so far. Of course, we are just now reaching that car wash area. Surefour getting super low on health, but the Harmony Orb keeping him alive and well. He is just continuing to throw out those shurikens at whoever he can. It looks like he is prioritizing that high ground for the time being, but Seagull still has not been dislodged from his perch up here. He is just firing down constantly, now trying to help out his teammates as the tanks engage. But look at that! Seagull actually just damaged himself there after getting rushed down and ended up killing himself, but Surefour definitely to credit for that kill. He is going to now go up on the high ground. McCree right there for him, but he sees the discorded Zenyatta, goes straight for him. Easy cleanup there, and Cloud9 just rolling through.
Yeah, that was a little bit slow for C9 at the beginning, but they sped it up wildly. They took it on the first push, things going well. And just, again, even though Kai didn't directly go on Seagull, he went on the back line, caused enough disruption for Surefour to get to the back, get the kills they needed, and just sort of the power of C9 and their initiation, where it works out really well. And it's why Gibraltar in the past was one of their better maps. So C9 starting things out the bang, and here is the real test here for LG. Will they be able to settle here on the hangar where teams can hold for a long time? But right now, with Milo going down and Surefour applying pressure, that might be unlikely, Josh.
Yeah, you're right. It's always anyone's game when it comes to the shuttle room. Usually if the defense can set up, they can buy themselves a lot of time. But Surefour bringing out the Dragon Blade finds Gods and Seagull, who is now switched to Genji. So definitely coming out on top of that Genji duel so far. Dummy actually going to catch the sword before putting it away as well. And look at this. No one in the hangar room on the defense. Cloud9's like, where is everybody? Did we kill them all already?
Dummy was the world sass Zenyatta there. You know that death is approaching. There's nothing. He's just like wildly throwing at ours, like, stay away from me. Surefour, though, absolutely going wild. The 3K setting things up. and C9 is flying through this
gosh.
hangar phase right now. Kai getting right into Gods, not letting Gods do anything, just smothering him with that defensive matrix. They're moving forward. 2 extra kills here from C9. The momentum is insane. Here comes Seagull trying to put a little bit of sanity in this game for LG. Has 1 kill, looking for more. Devitt says no way, takes him out. The Dragon Blade threat is over, and C9 with a whole lot of momentum right now as they try and finish this out, and they should be able to get this point, Josh.
Yeah, a string of ultimates coming out from both sides, but Cloud9 definitely comes out on top. You can see 4 members still standing after everything is said and done. It was a great engage, if you can call it an engage, basically tossing the Diva suit just to start on Cloud9's side, slowed down Luminosity so much. Seagull actually running back, potentially a switch now, just healing up a little bit there as he had some damage, but not going to be switching off just yet. Let's take a look at the ultimates. Cloud9, Surefour, Dragon Blade is available. He's going for the flank already. If you don't know this route, learn it because it's a great one. Surefour can just hop over that wall, pop Dragon Blade, and potentially get 1 or 2 kills. If we did see Seagull and at least 1 other member up there, Lucio looks like trying to heal from above. So Surefour, at any moment, he can get the call from his teammates, leap over that wall, and just start to go crazy.
And C9's had a lot of time to set this up. They're very comfortable with how they want to go forward here. They want to have a sound barrier here for Surefour, but Surefour, he's good enough to make his own opportunity. Goes step back, immediately dispatches Dummy. Dummy the first to fall. God's falling right after. Just a textbook perfect engage by Surefour, set up by that Discord orb from Adam. 2 kills here for C9. LG has to retreat immediately, and this is all sorts of bad news bears right now for LG, as this might be an unbeatable time if C9 is not stopped in just a moment.
That one shot with the Discord and the leap down in the Dragon Blade. Was that a Genji about to fall off the cliff? Seagull
Yes, I think no, he did get knocked off. He's dead. Seagull was able to get back.
Oh my goodness, that helped C9 so much. Huge source of damage gone. Now Milo and Enigma both biting the dust as well. Surefour just triple starring into Dummy's face. This will not last long for Luminosity. Cloud9 about to set a pretty impressive time on Gibraltar.
Pretty impressive. I don't know if that does this justice, Joshy. That's a time of, okay, let's say it's
almost
10 minutes.
5 minutes?
Yeah, it's like 4:04, I think.
Oh, only 4 minutes.
Yeah,
Jeez.
I think it's only 4:04. Because there's 10 minutes total on the map. There was about 6 minutes left as they capped it, so...
Yikes. So Luminosity definitely going to have a bit of a struggle here on the offense. Cloud9 just rolled through them. I can't believe it. Numbani went so well for them now with this follow-up on Gibraltar. You have to think King of the Hill map is going to be on the docket if Luminosity does, in fact, lose this one. Yeah, 4:04.
I just want to frame this properly for everyone watching right now. People thought that Liquid choked really hard on Hollywood, where they had 4 minutes to take last and they weren't able to do it. If Cloud9 somehow loses this game, not only would it be one of the greatest attacks ever by LG, but it would also be one of the greatest chokes and throws ever by a team, especially by C9. That is what is at stake here. That is how ridiculous that time is.
Yeah, this is a finals, people. These are the 2 best teams in North America after MVS battling it out. And a 4:04 is a ridiculous time even for like a middle tier team against a low tier team. That doesn't, it still doesn't happen, but literally like 2 and 3 vying for, you know, their potential spot here. Just setting a time like that is incredible, and it's done Cloud9 a lot for momentum. They really are just blasting through, and Luminosity has to be feeling a little bit of a morale hit after losing that previous map so quickly and letting them set a 4-minute time.
Well, I think the name of the game here for LG is risk. They have to take a whole lot of risks, really try and keep C9 back, and not, once they win one team fight, they have to keep chaining deaths and hope that C9 doesn't hold back, because even just simple stall strategies coming out from C9, C9 could lose every fight in this game, but if they lost in such a way that it took them a while to clear them off the cart, they would still win. So LG, they're going to need a lot here. Basically, they need to hit a big haymaker on C9 in the very beginning and then keep them staggered throughout the game. If they don't do that, they are going to be down 2 games already in this best of 5.
It also, I just have to mention, like, the psychology of the time ticking down, and you know where the payload is. If you know that you're going to lose and you're only halfway through the map, you lose the will to fight so quickly, and after only a couple minutes in this match, that's going to happen if they don't just blaze through. Seagull trying to take those long-range shots, but look at this. The defense is entirely posted up in the server room. No one's going to get in there.
And for C9, again, this is a case where they don't even have to win too much here. They just need to win maybe one team fight.
Right.
And just sort of, I mean, they can sort of half-heartedly go into this and just make sure that they don't fully get wiped. That's the sort of time that we're talking about that LG has to set, and even tactics like that will stop them from setting it. So LG, they are on the high ground right now. They're trading off poke into the server room, but they can't just sit here and leisurely trade off poke. They need to go in, as risky as it might be, and get a few kills, because if they play the poke game, they could just lose outright.
Yeah, they really need to go bulldozer mode with this payload. Really just focus on whatever's standing there. Try to, you know, do your best to either ignore or get in from behind on that DPS coming out of the server room.
Dummy died first there once again. He got picked off in the back line as Zenyatta. He's been getting just targeted out by C9, point of contention. And with Dummy being dead that early, LG has to back out. And now time-wise, Joshy, 2 minutes and 50 seconds left. If it's not over already, which it very well likely might be.
They didn't get it on the first push, so they're already in a time deficit.
Yeah, they're in a big time deficit, but certainly if they get wiped here, I think LG knows when it's GG. They will probably say GG then. They're very good about knowing the times just as much as we, the casters, are. So for LG, a lot here on the table. Seagull going to hopefully get an ult up here soon around there. Gods does take out Cheer4 though, so that is part of climbing this very steep hill. Seagull coming into the back. Dragon Blade about to be at the ready, just looking for the last little bit of poke. Getting stymied a bit by the Zarya, but here comes the Junkrat Tire on the way. Will the Tire take out anyone? That could be a big push killer in himself. The Tire is still alive. The Tire is rolling. Milo saying, get away from me. Does not kill Milo.
Only some shield damage there. Seagull does have his Dragon Blade available here to try and go ham, but the sound barrier just ending. Grego does fall to the single slice steel trap, getting thrown out, does get blocked, but Cheer4 ends up getting the kill. Anyway, actually Kai assisting there and running right through Milo. After the Earth Shatter, gets Pooks and Dummy as well. Great stuff there from Cloud9, and this is one of those situations we talked about where it's essentially over, folks, but we are going to continue fighting until, you know, either a team GGs or time runs out.
Kai put on a little bit of show there towards the end. It's always great when Zaryas go off on 3K sprees, but I'm just going to say it's not until it's over. It is over right now. There is no way LG will bring it back. I would eat a hat live
We're
on
not going to
stream.
send them to the lobby, though. That's a little disrespectful.
No, we're not send them to the lobby. But I will say that just time-wise, mathematically, this one, it is done. And it's just because C9 set a blazingly fast time moving forward that LG didn't have a whole lot of time to work with. Cheer4, though, does pick up Gods early in this fight. Big Graviton comes in, 5 people being sucked in by that. C9 didn't have to follow through. So it's going to LG to actually live there while down a player. Cheer4, though, moving into the back, does get some of the fall through. Gets a double kill, in fact. He's gotten every kill on this push. Cheer4 just W-mouse winning his way into LG's backline.
Yeah, there's nothing they can do. We know what's happening here. They're actually all still in spawn. It doesn't really matter that Cheer4 and company pushed them all the way there, but 52 seconds left. Honestly, not even enough to get through the shuttle room at this point. So it's all done and dusted for Luminosity. Did someone say that earlier? I just want to make sure.
Oh, too soon. Seagull, though, they might just be looking for the moral victory here to at least get it to the next checkpoint, but this has been a shellacking from C9. To say the least, and it's rough for LG because now for them to come back in the series, they're going to have to pull the reverse sweep, and that is easier said than done, even when you think you have an edge on a team just because of the variability in Overwatch where, I mean, take a look at Envy. For as dominant as they were, Fnatic took a map off them, for example, in the last time we saw them play, and so did C9, so it's hard to actually win 3 maps in a row. And
that's true.
Time will officially be over here in 5 seconds. That is C9 taking Gibraltar in an absolutely dominant fashion, Joshy.
Yeah, not only did they set the blazingly fast time, but the defense, again, looking incredibly solid. And this is just a best-of-5 series. We've got 2 King of the Hill maps, 1 other payload map available in the map pool. If I'm Luminosity, I'm definitely taking it to a King of the Hill, just to mix it up, because this payload stuff is not working out for them so far.
I think for LG, you just have to try any change of venue right now. I would be proud to have that parking
There's
spot.
a trailer right next to it. Such a short distance, too.
He's I mean, like it is. He's a VIP. But taking a look here, will in fact be LG on the defense first. Gods is going to be on the Reaper. Enigma on the Zarya. Dummy going to be on Zenyatta. Pooks on the Lucio. Seagull, of course, on his Junkrat. And Milo and Reinhardt. And they're going to have to throw some curveballs here at C9. They can't play this normal. They certainly don't want to get rolled over at the very beginning. Otherwise, I think their odds of actually turning this to their favor not going to be good. But here comes C9, and Cheer4 is on that Tracer, Joshy.
Cheer4, yeah, on the Tracer, as we said. We need to keep an eye out for it. I'm sure that LG saw that on the entry, of course, and already getting down to 22 health is a solid start. Cheer4 not even using Rewind, just getting back to his team to get some heals instead. Got a little bit of a poke fight. Nothing too crazy happening, no leap in with the Winston or anything just yet, and Cloud9 does have those incredibly good tanks. As we mentioned, Kai and Debet are one of the best tanking combos. Cheer4 just dancing circles around the defense right now, providing a great distraction.
Yeah, and that's the key. It's a distraction. It's going to let the rest of C9 leap right in. Debit, though, does leap in, is punished. Cheer4 on the Gods. Both teams down 1 player. Cheer4, though, on the double kill. No one is looking at him anymore, and he's just feasting. Throws out the pulse bomb. Doesn't get a kill off it, but look, he's just saying it. Reinhardt doesn't care as he eats clip after clip. Cheer4 right behind. Reaver now coming in at the clutch. Take out 2. Seagull trying to hold in here. Does get a double kill Tire, but that might be too low, too late. The offensive reinforcements from C9 will be getting here early. Reaver does dispatch Seagull. A very first attack, or quick attack here from C9, and any hopes that LG might have had of a first point defense have gone up in smoke.
Yeah, 1 minute, 8 seconds. Pretty good time there for point A. Really only took an extended fight, not even really a wipe ever. Surefour did die to that Junkrat tire, but by then his teammates had respawned and were all over the point. So Luminosity having to get into the high ground position as quick as they can. You actually see the attackers getting up on the high ground very quickly on the right side, but that payload's just moving along. Defense doing what they can to stay in place. They'll probably jump down around those first rooftop area. Actually going to charge forward and try to punish the only few members of C9 that were up there, but Transcendence is going to keep all of them alive. Great timing there by Adam to keep everyone up. And right now we're just posturing against Surefour. Did die to gods from range, so that's a tough loss for Cloud9 for this push. Reaver also getting quite low.
The interesting thing for C9 is that they're not running a Genji or anything that has good, like aside from the Winston, anything that has great verticality here. So they're not really planning on playing a huge rooftop game in the sense that you would normally see. They still get 2 kills off that to begin with, and they're just pushing it through the ground right now.
Yeah, let the defense come to us. Makes sense.
It's working out. I mean, Gods has been up here on top the entire time trying to lay and poke. Debit will get on him towards the end. We'll push him back. He's going to get the big health, so he's not dead yet. Is laying in the damage. Debit might be able to take this, but nope. Debit going to pop the Primal Rage. He does force out, but here comes Reaver. The Deadeye strikes. 2 kills from Reaver, and C9 keeping momentum going. LG was a little bit scared there, and that's a problem. Gods was off on an island by himself on that high ground, and he had no one to help him when pressure came coming.
Yeah, Reaver actually just wrecking shop right now, running through the enemy team while the payload just gently pushes. I'm sure the VIP is feeling pretty good, just cruising along. He's not even going to have to yell at them that much.
The VIP has never had more of a pleasant trip. This is C9's been keeping it going super quickly here. He has nothing to complain about. LG, on the other hand, has a lot to complain about because this is just more of the same from what we saw in Gibraltar. They are getting thoroughly outclassed right now, and they need to find a way of stopping C9 because this has been absolutely brutal here so far. Looking ahead to the next fight, it might not get any better. Grego has Sound Barrier. Pook's nowhere close. C9 has a lot of tools here between Sound Barrier and Graviton that really turns in their favor. Luckily for them, Gods did win the duel against Reaver. Takes out Adam. Gods putting LG on their back for some very needed breathing time.
Graviton Surge at the ready for Kai. He did lose. Actually, no, just lost Adam. So Adam's going to respawn very close by. Not really too much of a loss. Payload, typically you'll see the defense set up around this corner because the respawn distance is so close and because it's a tighter choke. But now Speed Boost comes in. Graviton Surge still available for Kai. He's not going to hit that button until he's sure he's going to get some value out of it. Sound Barrier going to be the first to use to give everyone that extra health. And there's the Graviton Surge coming out. Diva ult inside actually blows away Kai, and he will get that suit refund, but lose it immediately as he's the last person standing for Luminosity's defense. Already, Milo coming out of the gate, but he's already damaged. C9 just moving forward with very little effort again.
It was a very typical engage there with Sound Barrier, but it was enough to bring it forward. Adengba at least got a few pounds of flesh before going out, but here comes Reaver, Deadeye on the way, zoning LG back once more. And look at all the space here on the cart. They have to just get on here quickly or lose outright. They do rush on the cart with the Transcendence. Surefour, though, takes out Milo. 5v5 here on the point. Seagull looks to the back. Here comes the Death Blossom on the way. Takes out Grego, looks for a little bit more. Gonna have to sell for just 1 kill, but does create enough of a distraction for Enigma to come in through the front. Dummy stabilizing this a bit. The cart is 2.37 meters away. LG, though, going to buy themselves some very necessary time.
Yeah, the Death Blossom, you could tell he wanted both of those healers, but Adam was not all about that. He sprinted. They did split up. Very nice play there by the attacking team, and Payload is starting to roll backwards for the very first time this game. Great hold there at the very end. You could tell they coordinated that very well with the Transcendence. They knew exactly how much time was left. Then Seagull jumped down for the Death Blossom. Everything worked to Luminosity's favor, but they don't have all these ults again now. They don't have anything. Cloud9's got the benefit.
Well, Pooks is about to get Sound Barrier, so I think there's a chance here. I think Sound Barrier will cancel out Death Blossom somewhat. If Pooks can get in time. Right now he's holding on to it as he does have it. You're going to see that get dropped here any moment, and that's going to be LG's trump card to try and win this fight. It doesn't mean they'll win the fight. C9 actually backs out. They took out Dummy. Dummy first to fall once more. And now 65. The Sound Barrier is down. C9 with renewed pressure. Debit getting on the vital targets. 2 kills here for Debit. A 6v4 advantage. Seagull in the back line takes out Debit. Trying to push this back, but C9 filling the kill feed. It's Seagull versus the world. Unfortunately for Seagull, this is not good odds. He is taken out here on the point. That is going to be a cap. And that's about a time about 5:25.
Yeah,
being set here by C9. It's not quite the world-breaking Gibraltar time, but this is still not something where LG feels okay about. This is not
Yeah,
great.
this is not great. I'll totally agree. And defending, they didn't want to defend that VIP parking space enough. They had to really want it. They had to want that trailer, and they did not. Halfred Glitchbot delivered safely, and 5 minutes 24 seconds is the time to beat for Luminosity. And after those last two payload maps, I got to say, Cloud9's defense has looked so stout that it could be difficult. And Surefour on the defensive tracer, just an early selection. We'll find out if he sticks with it, but I'm assuming he will just based on previous history. And he did such a great job flanking in the previous series, the semifinal, that Luminosity really need to be aware this time. They didn't deal with him aptly enough on the defense. If he's on, Luminosity on defense did not deal with the offensive tracer. If they can't deal with the defensive tracer, they have no chance.
I think the idea here is this is a little bit of a different look for defensive tracer because there is no Winston on his team that he's sort of distracting for a big leap in. Neither Debit nor Kai are going to be super, super crazy in their charge. And so I think what Surefour is going here for the defensive tracer is that it's pretty good at getting on Zenyatta's in general, but more than anything else, it'll break up the coordination of LG's offense just a little bit because if they're worried about Surefour in the back, they can't go full crazy, just all diving the cafe together because then Surefour might take out Dummy in the back.
He's so far forward already, too.
Oh, look at this.
Yeah, as they run out of the gate, of course, Surefour just crouch walking. If you didn't know, crouching does hide your footsteps audio, so they will not know exactly where Tracer is, or that he's even on Tracer, for that fact.
We have another notable thing here. I don't know if they're going with this, but LG, they have done crazy team comps in the past. It'd be weird for Enigma of all people to be in the Ana. Maybe it'll be the case. Gods on Hanzo, though, would not be unprecedented. We've seen that a lot of times here in Hollywood, but unfortunately, getting trolled a little bit. God's going to go to McCree, but Enigma... Is he still showing Ana? Is this happening?
So Ana's very interesting here. Not only does Enigma not normally play support, this is a 3-support composition, but Enigma, Ana is one of those sort of DPS supports, you could say. Always be shooting, definitely benefits her. Sleep darts, of course, are great CC. Here's Surefour doing his thing, immediately jumping onto Dummy, has to rewind, so looks like LG was ready for it.
Here's the thing, though. Look at how far back they are. It slows down their entire offense, so I like this coming out just to try and give the defense a little bit more tools to play with. Dummy right now has to be afraid of his life because he knows that Surefour is back here. Seagull goes in. He's going to get chewed up. And while they're doing this, they're not going in on the cafe. Now they're going in the cafe, but it is slowed down. They know the positioning of everyone. Surefour right now getting right into the back line will rewind. First kill goes to C9. And this is a good take on defense that right now is working. 3 kills for C9. This will be the rare first point Hollywood hold, which, by the way, not good for LG given the time they have to beat.
Oh, definitely not. Already under 5 minutes to go. And Surefour, even though he had a couple of spots of trouble, saved the rewind for the perfect moments. He's got a pulse bomb available this time around. Finding Seagull, preventing Seagull from actually doing any damage, definitely benefited them.
Note this, though. Ana ult does charge really quickly, and they will have it here for the next fight. So it's probably going to be going on Milo, Gods, or Seagull, one of the 3. Surefour right now with the pulse bomb, most looking for a pickup. Doesn't get. The Ana ult is down, and is going to be a fully charged up Milo running in, swinging the hammer. It is terrifying, but not so terrifying that Discord Orb and a good Zarya laser can't deal with it. And C9 getting the kills they need to get. Seagull super wounded in the cafe, gets taken out by Reaver. Reaver on the double kill. Surefour just being relentless in the back, and God's just like, kill me now. It's like, wait, no, we got heals. You don't have to die.
Kill me, do it now.
Oh my goodness.
Not going to grant him his wish. Definitely just kind of lets him peter around, and he's actually still low health and hasn't.
Looking at historical Hollywood times right now, this is really it for LG. It's very rare they ever get a time under 3.5 minutes just from the start, which is effectively what this would still be if they went in here. Seagull comes into the back line. Dragon Blade on the way, looking for that kill. Gonna run into a Deadeye. No, he gets the deflect! The double kill from Seagull, trying to keep hope alive here for LG. It's 4 kills for LG right now. Seagull makes it a triple in the end, and that is exactly what they needed. Reaver shot a little bit too early, and he paid the price.
Where was Surefour? I don't know exactly what happened to him, but Genji did not care. He was just flying free, dashing through everything, getting the easy kills, and the speed with which he did that may have given LG a breath of a chance here.
Well, I mean, let's be realistic here. This is still very hard to beat, but like you said, it's a glimmer of hope. Plus, he got the side effect of embarrassing Reaver there. So for Seagull, it's sort of win-win. Surefour, though, moving in, he takes out Dummy immediately. Dummy first to fall. Grego moving in. Gods is down. It's a 64 for C9. They're bringing this right back. So any extra bit of hope here for LG, starting to get the door shut on it now. Seagull having the back out. And this is looking very good for C9. 2.5 minutes left. They're probably about 2 team wipes away from putting the final touches on this, if even that.
If you can imagine the automatic ticket to the playoffs as a door slowly closing every second. Look at this, Seagull going off again, actually getting a lot of value out of that, but does eventually fall to Surefour. But yeah, that image right now of the door just slowly closing on them. They're trying to shove their hand or foot in there to slow it down.
Speaking of foot, Dummy letting Surefour a taste of the beat right there. So
the talon. He has sharp talons, that Zenyatta.
So 2 minutes left. I'm not going to say LG is out of this just yet. They do have a chance. C9 basically has to lose everything horrifically. Milo with Earth Shatter, that's one of the ways that that can happen. So a lot riding here on Milo. If Milo can sneak around to the back and get this, there's a real opportunity. He's going to move back forward with the rest of his team. And this is sort of a low-risk play, but I wonder if it's worth it. Here comes the Earth Shatter, does knock down 3. Milo gets what he's looking for. Unfortunately, Reaver did take out Seagull early in this fight. Surefour comes in from the back line. 3 kills here from C9, despite that Earth Shatter. Coming out from Milo, LG is not getting the expected result. There just wasn't the follow-up there in position right after that. Ooh. C9 is going to clean this up. And now a minute 30 left. One more good team fight will seal this for C9 if it is not sealed already, which means that they will win the grand finals and they will be qualified.
That Deadeye was so unsatisfying. The fact that he had all those targets laid out in front of him and still could not get the value out of it has to hurt. Seagull now as the Genji, only 33% of his ult, trying to get the shots that he can. He's the only one really able to deal with the high ground at all, and the entire defense is sitting up there just waiting for this team to loop around at the payload. Debet's going to leap in immediately, drop that shield. Transcendence is triggered by Kai. He's going to...
Oh, no. The sleep dart.
The sleep dart, yeah.
taking a nap right now,
Strength
right
dart.
behind the cart. I mean, why not? He will live here. 2 kills for LG, but here's the problem from them right now, Josh. Even if they win this fight, you look at the time that's left. Milo, of course, on the nano boost, going absolutely crazy. Earthshare comes down again, knocks down 3. I don't think C9 cares right now because all they have to do is just get on the point a little bit, and they'll win. In fact, I think they've already won this, Josh, because think about the gates opening. The gates opening take like 10 seconds on its own.
Yeah.
It's over. So C9 will win the grand finals here in the Overwatch North American Open. Really good stuff coming up from C9, and they have secured their spot right alongside Envious.
Excellent work just throughout the weekend. Both teams, of course, admirable jobs getting here to the finals, but Cloud9 really putting their foot down. It actually seemed like they may have had a harder time in the semifinal, only wins by 2 or 3 minutes. This time, it's a bloodbath. Cloud9 is here to win, and they definitely want to get that free ticket to the playoffs.
I think that's a good point because it definitely makes a stronger case for Fnatic going forward into next week, where maybe you say Fnatic might have an edge against LG. We'll just have to see. Of course, transitive property isn't always how things work in sports in general, not just esports.
Definitely.
However, that is that. C9 dominant 3-0 victory, and they have succeeded here tonight.
Yeah, and joining us for the finals of the broadcaster desk is once again